Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. So in this video we're going to take a look at Tailwind.css buttons. Okay, if you don't know what is Tailwind.css, it's like Bootstrap but actually a lower level CSS framework. Okay, so I'll go over it if you don't know Tailwind.css, but for now we're basically going to create buttons. Okay, I'm gonna go over all the stylings, the utilities, the components that we're going to use, everything to create this very cool little buttons. Okay, so something, all of this: simple button, pill type, outline button, bordered button, a disabled button, a 3D button, an elevated simple button, a group of buttons, and also a button which has some SVGs on it. Okay, so that's just the main video. So before we get started, the main goal of the video is not to create very beautiful dynamic websites. That's obviously not the goal. It's just to show how we can use Tailwind.css, how lower level is it, and we're comparing. If you have done Bootstrap, you really would feel, you know, this is a lot of work, but this is really gaining popularity. And if you want to really start out with learning Tailwind CSS, learning these buttons is a very good example of just a use case. Okay, so you basically would get a good idea on what is Tailwind.css. Just the installation process is a bit tougher. Okay, rather than just copying files, it's actually going to install through a package manager, but we'll go over it. Okay, so by the end of the video you learn how to create all of these buttons. That's just simply it. And also you have a good knowledge on creating a config file, to extend the component stylings, to create your own stylings, to build your CSS and stuff like that. Okay, so yes, before we get started, I'll show you guys what is Tailwind CSS. So basically a rapidly growing CSS framework right now. You know, it's really increasing. As I said, this is very lower level. Okay, it doesn't have a divided class, I don't know, like a Jumbotron, like in Bootstrap. Do they have? I've never used Materialize, but I'm really good at Bootstrap. So when I compare to that, this is very low level. Like whatever you type in your style.css, it's just a shorter version. You put it as a class. Okay, and really it makes a lot of sense to have something like this in a lower level. It makes the process a bit tough, but still able to achieve some custom stylings. Okay, the important thing is the custom styling. All right. So we can get started on this buttons. I also wanted to show you just the documentation of the installation process. Okay, right here, and we also follow this rules, you know, not the rules, and they teach you how to do it. So let's go over it like that. Okay, and also the button section, you can, if you want to create all of this button, you want to get the code for all of this, it's right in components, and inside components you can go to buttons, and all the codes is right there for the button, the outline, everything is actually here. Okay, so I wanted to do it because I wanted to explain with extra files, extra custom styling, and why you put hover, and just to customize this bit to give you a better understanding. Okay, that's just the main goal of this video. Okay, nonetheless, we're gonna get started with the video right now. All right, so the installation, I'm going to use VS Code, that's my text editor. Feel free to use your own text editor. Okay, so now I'm going to get my terminal right there, Control J, and if you want to get your CMD, you can just press Control Shift C, I believe. You want to come right there, Control Shift C, to get your CMD, which opens up your CMD in the same root folder. So I'm just gonna use the terminal. It's very easy for me. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, you want to say npm init, and you want to say /y. So before I get enter, make sure your folder name, okay, right here, this folder name is Tailwind. I mean, you can name it as much as anything you want, but make sure you don't leave any spaces in between. If you just have a space, this npm package manager creating the package.json wouldn't get created. Okay, so click enter, and we just simply create your package.json, which simple scripts, you know, just a base template right there. And the next thing that you want to do, you basically want to install Tailwind.css. Okay, so you want to say npm install. Okay, so you want to say npm install Tailwind CSS. Okay, all right, so you just want to do like that, and it will automatically create you. So for that, it takes like, you know, like 30 seconds or something. My net is a bit slow, that's what. Okay, just until then, let's take a look at this. Okay, so once you create your Tailwind.css file, it's not like a basic one file you copy and put it like Bootstrap. You basically want to build this up in your CSS folder. Okay, so yeah, all right, it's done. So now what I want to do, I'm going to basically create a folder. Okay, and I'm going to create a folder called source. Okay, and inside this I'm going to have a folder called style.css. You can call it out, you can call it output or whatever you want. Just have it like that. And then I'm gonna create a folder out. I'm gonna call it dist, and inside dist I'm gonna have a file called my main file, which is going to be index.html, a simple index.html that gets the job done. Okay, and a simple, you know, style.css. Okay, all right, that's what I want. Okay, now just forget about the dist folder right now. The dist folder, just forget about that. Just forget about that. Now inside the source folder we have a folder called style.css. Okay, inside this I want to basically copy this. Okay, copy this and paste it right here. So it says okay, so direct injections, base, and the utilities and the components will get you need this code, you need this to build your CSS inside. We're gonna inside this style.css. Okay, and I'll teach you why we have this file. In this file you can actually create your own custom stylings as well. So it's just a extra normal CSS file, and this is going to be this file is going to have all the code of the Tailwind.css. Okay, all right, so it might not make sense for now, but I'll show you how to do it. All right guys, so now where is it? Okay, so once that's done guys, you should output this. Okay, so you can do it in your CLI right there. So we're gonna use the package.json. Okay, and just make it a bit smaller right here. And now what I'm gonna do inside the scripts, I'm gonna name this build.css. Okay, something like that. And now what I want to do inside this, I have a command. I'm going to say a command tailwind. Okay, tailwind. And now I want to say where I have to fetch my basic template, which is this one. It has the base, it has the components, it has the utilities. Okay, so I'm going to specify that folder. I want to say where this code is presented. Okay, so I'm going to say source/style.css. This is where I need it, and then I want to basically output this code to my dist folder and inside style.css. Okay, and I want to basically specify that as well. Okay, that's what we need. That's just simply it. Okay, and just close. You want to make sure Tailwind, where's your source folder, which I mean the code with these 3 lines, and then you want to output this, and you want to output this to dist folder style.css, which is empty right now. Alright, so now you want to basically run a command. What do you want to say? Npm run, and you want to say build/css. Okay, and once you do it, it's going to basically build. Okay, there's an error. Okay, so it's source. You're going to output this to the style.css. Alright guys, actually the error was, it's not Tailwind CSS, it's really Tailwind build, because we're doing it from the npm, not npx. So I want to say Tailwind build. So you're going to basically build it. I just forgot it for no reason. Okay, you're going to build the source for style.css and output this to this folder. Oops, that's what I want. Okay, I want to save it, get rid of that, and we'll run the command again, npm run build.css. And now if you take a look, it's not gonna give you an error. Now it's gonna be successfully, there we go, finished in 2.31 seconds, and it's saved to this folder. Okay, now if I go to this folder style.css, you can see a bunch of styling right there. Okay, if I go down, there's like 95,000 lines of code or something. It's all Tailwind.css, Tailwind styling. Okay, so we are not gonna touch anything. You shouldn't be able to touch anything and save anything inside here. Okay, it's just a simple file here, which your styles are presented. Okay, alright guys, so I'm just gonna get rid of the terminal right now, and we are actually right there. We are actually ready to get started with the tutorial. And the installation process is a bit tough, which I mean a bit confusing, not than the rather normal way we do it in Bootstrap, but it's still something new. Okay, so I'm gonna create a basic template here, a basic boilerplate. So I'm inside the dist folder. Okay, so, and I'm gonna call this Tailwind buttons. Okay, and now I'm gonna link my style sheet. Now you might have a confusion what style sheet you have to link. You have to link this style sheet, which contains all your imported, the saved Tailwind CSS stylings. Okay, where you build it, output the information for the what could I call that? This just a Tailwind template for. And now I'm gonna say just this, because it's inside this, I'm just gonna say style.css. If it's outside, then you have to specify, because inside this folder you want to say // and then whatever your module you are, but for now it's just simply style.css. okay. Alright guys, so just to check whether it's working, we'll say hello world. Okay, and I'm using VS Code Live Server. You can, if you're using Atom or Sublime Text, I hope you have an extension for it. But yeah, let's open this up in Live Server. Okay, it's opened up. Okay, it's working. Okay, just gonna copy that and I'm gonna get my right here, a new tab now. Okay, so there we go, we have hello world here. Okay, so simply let's get started with creating the buttons. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna get rid of this. Okay, I'm gonna have a div with a class of container. Okay, so basically what this container is, it's gonna give you a basic width to it. Okay, so then it's pretty much response. If it's in a bigger screen, it's gonna be a bit if it's on a desktop screen, it's gonna be in a viewport of 90%, I believe. Okay, and then I want to say mx auto. All right, I'll do it like that. Oops, mx auto, and I have a div with a class of container mx auto. Okay, so now inside this I also would have more stylings, but for now we'll just have it like that. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna say hello, something like that. If you see here, it's hello, and if I just enlarge this, you can see this gap right here. So this is what I was meaning about, saying the gap. Okay, the width, the overall is just the, yeah, just a width and center, just a basic container. Okay, and also this is a Tailwind.css class. If I can go and show you, it's right there. You can search for container, okay, like this one, and it will just give you a small container which has a max of 640 big. So if I do something like this, is actually max width of 100%, which is none, and also 1280, which is right here, which we have some. Okay, we have a good width over there. Okay, this is actually 100%. Okay, so you can always go right here. There's so much information that you can mess with. Alright guys, so now I'll come to the home page, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna create my first button. Okay, I'm just gonna call it the simple button. Okay, because it is a simple button. Alright, so now we'll say we need to have a button. Okay, bt, and I'm gonna use emit to have some classes to it. So the first class I need to have is that I need to have a background of blue. So you will say bg blue. And by the way, all of these suggestions I'm getting is just because I've installed a let me just give you right now. If I say bg, all of these are the Tailwind.css integrations I've installed. It's an extension in VS Code. That's how I get it. So you want to install it, just come to the extensions and you want to just say Tailwind CSS, and the first one, it pops up right there by Brad Cons. It is in their website itself. Okay, you just want to install that and restart your VS Code, and it's gonna work. Okay, there are also some other stuff, but I'm not sure how good that's at. But it's like 80,000 downloads. It's pretty good. Okay, all right, so now we have that. When I say bg, I'm gonna say I need the background of blue for the first button, and then it's gonna be 500, which is its opacity, the color, the strength to it. If it's 700, it's gonna be a more darker one. Okay, and then I need a class. Once anyone hovers over it, okay, or let me just create the basics right now. So just a class with that. Okay, and also I need the text to be white. Okay, so it's just text white, and then I want the font of it to be bold, so I'm gonna say font bold, and also I need it to have a margin top and bottom of 4. Okay, and for y, which is basically 16 rem, I believe. I'll go through the conversion rate a bit late in a second. And we also have padding of 2. Okay, padding top and bottom, and also we have padding left and right, which is PX, and we have, which is going to be 4, I believe. Okay, and also we have a class called rounded. Okay, that's what. Now if I click enter, our beaten is basically created with some classes, and I'm just going to name this simple, save it like that, and I'm using prettier, so that's it's formatting my code like that. Okay, so if I just go back and see right here, so there we go, we have a simple button. Okay, so you know, it's a button, but still it's not it's it's not as a button, like it doesn't have the hover effects and all. So for that, what we have to do, so it's not bold, it's name it blood here, so it's bold. Okay, so if I refresh, there we go, it's bold. And now what I want to have an hover effect. So it's very easy. You just want to say hover, something like that, and put a colon, and then what you have to say, what you want to have, what you want to do when it hovers over it. For me, I want the BG blue, the background to be blue, but then it has to be a font a weight of 700, so it's going to be a lot darker. So if I hover over it, oops, there's an error. Okay, this one. Alright, so if I just hover over it, there we go. We're getting this button to be the hover and in a darker color. Okay, so you can really mess with a lot of stuff. When we hover over it, you can change the margin. You can have multiple hover effects inside this. Okay, and also we want to make this stuff centered, and also the rounded class right here gives a rounded effect to it. Okay, you can see right there, it gives a rounded effect. Alright, so we want to basically center this. Whatever items here, we basically want to center this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, inside the container, I'm just going to say text center. Okay, now if you see it's centered, and also this also has a different font. Okay, so if you have multiple fonts in Tailwind.css, like font. If I go to font family, they have 3 fonts, which is sans, serif, and mono. Okay, now if I go for the serif, this is the serif font. Sorry, this is the serif font, this is the sans serif font, and this is the mono font. Okay, so they've given you, so basically we're going to use this font sans, so that's also a class. Okay, if you want to even say font sans there. Okay, that's what you want to do. It's updated, and there we go, we have font sans working over. You can actually have mono or serif, whatever you want. Alright guys, now yeah, that's just simple it for that. I believe, yeah, it looks just the same. Okay, I guess the margin should be, yeah, I should also have a margin Y of I guess 2 for the whole container, it to be a bit down, I guess. Okay, alright, so it's maybe like 4. Okay, and now, yeah, it looks nice. Alright guys, so that's what we want, and it's also centered. Okay, and now we also have this margin to each of it, the padding top and bottom, and we can just get rid of this. We don't want this. Okay, we don't want padding. Oops, oh, that's the padding. Oh, we want padding. Okay, so I want to go over the rem unit. So if you want to have 4, it's going to be a bit bigger. You can customize that. Okay, something like that, top. Okay, so we're going to change this to 2, so make sure it's like that. Okay, and also we need a px of 4. Okay, which is going to have a button like that. You can customize it. And also I want to go over the rem units just fast. So I'm going to say rem, it's going to be units, I think. It's going to be font size. Okay, so they'll show you it in the rem. So if you have text XS, which is going to be 0.5 rem, which is you have to do the calculation in multiplying by 16. Okay, so if I come right down, yeah, you can also have, as I said, the config file. You can customize these stylings, like the Tailwind.css stylings. Okay, not your custom styling. So obviously the custom styling, but the Tailwind CSS custom stylings. Okay, I'll just go over it. You know, you might be confused like that. So if I go to the conversion, the conversion was somewhere there. I thought about it. Let's go to the breakpoints, the spacing was somewhere here. I'm not pretty sure where it was. Okay, it's actually the spacings, the rem units was there. I saw it, I was going over it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to, oops, the rem units was in top. Variance, configuration, conversion was alright, so I'll just show you the margin right here. So this is how the margin works. Okay, so basically applies for the applies for your CSS buttons as well. So if it's a 10, then it's actually 2.5 RAM. I guess that's the same thing for the what could I say, for the fonts as well. Now you can have different style of font, but I'm just showing, oh sorry, the margin. Okay, so which is margin -3. Okay, which you have 12, not -3, it's actually margin 6 RM. So then you have 16. And you also have some customs, margin top and bottom, margin top and bottom 4M, and then you have margin top only 1 pixel and stuff like that. So leave this one, the whole documentation, the link, and it's just simple, tailwind.css.com/docs to get it over here. Okay, so guys, we created the first button. All right, so now let's go move for the next button. Okay, and now this button is going to be a pill. Okay, it's going to be pill button. Okay, so now let's go create it. So I'm going to say button, and I want to give some basic classes to it. Okay, so which is also just basic the same class. Okay, so I'm going to say margin BG, and I want to say green, and then I have to say which is 500, and which is the color. And then what I want to say, I want to give it a hover effect, and obviously just the same thing. Okay, you want to have a hover effect. You want to say BG green, and instead this I want to say 700. Okay, and then we also want the text to be white. We also want the font to be bold, not broad, it's bold. And we also need the margin top of 4, margin top and bottom actually, and we need the padding top to be top and bottom to be 2, which is padding Y to be 2, and then we need a padding left and right, which is the X by X of 2 as well. Okay, sorry, it's gonna be PX4. Okay, and now I have a simple class. It's actually rounded. Okay, but it's actually rounded full. Okay, this one. And now we can generate the styling through Emmet. It's customly built in VS Code. Now we're gonna have a pill. And now if we check it out, there we go. We have a classes. So basically, we added a class of green. We added a hover effect, the text, the font bold, the margin, the padding, and this rounded full will actually give you this out of a full. Okay, just a simple full effect, which I mean the board is like super rounded. Okay, so now just to make sure it's a bit nice, I'm gonna just put a break tag right there. So now it's gonna be down. All right, so that's what we need. You can name it pill or whatever you want. Okay guys, so now the next button is gonna be is gonna be bordered. So it's going to be an outline. Okay, so if we take a look at the example right here, so this button basically, once you hover over it, it's going to change its color, it's going to change its text color, it's going to change its background, and it's going to change it's going to remain its border just the same. So it's just going to be, it's like transferred this outline button to something like this. Okay, so it has a couple of outline hover effects to it, which is basically the background hover effects and also the text hover effect. Okay, and now let's create a button, and we need to have some simple classes. Okay, so the first one we want to have, which is the background transparent. Okay, basically the background is transparent, and then we need to have an hover effect to it. Okay, what I want the background of this, which is the BG, where it's gonna be BG yellow, and it's gonna be 500. Okay, so basically this is the BG background. Once you hover over it, I need to have this effect. Okay, and I'm gonna have the first, the basic hover effects. Once you hover over it, we need to have it yellow. Okay, and now I want to have a text white, and then we need to have, it's actually text yellow, right? So I want to have text yellow, and I want to give a 700. Okay, and then what I want to have font, but not very bold. We need to be semi bold. Okay, it should be semi bold. And now we want to also have another hover effects to make sure that the button is going to be white. The text of the button is going to be white. So when I say text, just white like that, okay? And then obviously the margin top and bottom for the px, which is the right and left of the button, which is 4, sorry, it should be 4, and py top and bottom to be 2 as all the buttons. And then we also have a border which is going to be yellow, okay, which is obviously 500. And then once it's hovered over it, we also need a hover effect to it called, we need the border, we want to get the border, and then we want to make sure, okay, that's one thing, border, hover is the border, and also we want to make sure it's transparent. Border is actually transparent, okay? So I'm going to say border transparent, and we also need the button to be rounded, okay? There's a couple of styling inside in this oops, okay, that's okay, dot rounded, okay? So there's a couple of styling classes for this particular button, okay? I know someone should be like commented down below saying that Bootstrap is better. Yes, it is. I mean, Tailwind is much better because of its low level classes. You can customize this as much as you want, okay? No one will be able to identify it until they really know, Tailwind.css, like really mastered it, okay? Unless then it's just basically your custom stylings, okay? Your padding, your margins, your custom theme, your transparency, your border, your hover effects, everything is custom. Alright, so we want to call this outline, and if I see it right here, there we go. So we have one simple problem, okay, which is basically the hover effects. So if I come right there, so we need the border to be, we also need the border yellow, which is 500, okay, and we want to basically say border here, okay? Now if you see right there, there we go, we do have a border. So now once you hover over it, I want the background to change to yellow, okay? So if you see right there, it's, there we go, we made a mistake, okay, slash yellow. And if I come right there, there we go, we create the button, okay? So basically it's an it's your custom stylings over it, okay, if you want to do it. So we create a tree button, looks nice, okay? And the next one is actually the border button, which is just the same like this, but a border, we have a border line over there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this button right here, this one, the first one which I created with the comment tag itself, and now I want to have a break tag here. I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to call that bordered button, okay? And if you see right there, okay, it's right here, okay? So first of all, I want to change these to bordered, okay, and then I want to change this color to indigo, okay, which is going to be 500, and hover is going to be the same indigo but 700. Text is white, everything is just the same, okay? But the only thing is that it's completely bordered. So for that, what you have to say is simple. You just want to say border, and let's say border of what color you want. For example, it's going to be indigo, okay, indigo of, I believe, 700. Okay, if you save it, we have it, just simply have it, just looks the same thing, okay? That's what we want, just a simple thing. Alright guys, so we created a border as well. Now we're going to create a disabled button, okay, which is the most easiest button here. So I want to say disabled button, okay? I'm going to create a button, and inside this button I'm just going to have a simple classes, which is bg blue, okay? So bg blue, and it's going to be just 500, okay? So let's say, what could you say, let's say disabled for now, disabled, okay? It's just as normal as some other buttons, but let me just copy the same styling which I had before, the blue stylings here. No, let it be, no, let me just copy it, and it's pretty simple work, okay? I'm just gonna copy it right here, okay? Oops. I'm just gonna replace with just the same stylings, okay, which is just a disabled button. The difference is that we just have a simple class to it called cursor not allowed. That's the only class. And also we have to lower down the opacity of it. Okay, so when I say opacity of 50, okay, which is going to lower it down to 50%, and then we want to say cursor not allowed. Okay, and now if I hover over it, the cursor is actually not allowed, if you see right there. Okay, and also it doesn't have a hover effect, so I'm just gonna get rid of the hover effects also. Okay, so it like really looks like something, a disabled button. Okay, so we also created a disabled button. And now let's create a breakdown there. Let's create a 3D button. Okay, so when I say 3D button, okay, and now I want to create a button with a couple of classes. We're going to have a BG, which is teal. The color is actually teal, and it's going to be a 500. And then we're going to have a hover effect to it, which is just going to be the same background, BG teal, and it's going to be a darker one, which is 700. Okay, and then what styling should we have? Then just the same styling, we should have our text white, then our font bold, okay, not block, keep spelling bold wrong, and then our margin top and bottom of 4, and then our px, which is the padding right and left, to be 4 to match all the buttons, and py p top and white of 2. Okay, let's click enter and let's call this 3D button. 3D, okay, let's call it 3D button. The main effects is that it's just a simple button. Okay, so you're basically going to give a border bottom to it, and also some rounded, and also we should have a classes here called rounded. Okay, just to make sure it's rounded like that, and then we want to make sure we have a border to it. Okay, which is just same like that. It's becoming light. Okay. It's becoming lighter, right? So I guess we should go like 400. Okay, once you hover over it, we need it to be light. Yeah, it's 400. And now we're gonna have a border bottom to it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come. Okay, you can have your classes wherever you want. I normally like to have the margin stuff here, the main color stylings right here. So it's just a preference. Okay. Alright guys, so now what you have to do, you should have to 3D button, and you want to have a border to it. Okay, we're going to say border of teal, which is the teal color, and then we want to specify this to be something like, I don't know, 700, I believe. If I go over, and I also want to say it's border over there, just to make sure it works. I mean, it will work if you have like that. Okay, and now what I want to do now, let me just get rid of this for now. Border teal 700, and then what I want to do, guys, I want to just say border bottom. Okay, so I want to say border, so I want to say border bottom of whatever you want to specify right now. Okay, so you can say border bottom of the same color you want. For example, if it's a teal, if it's border bottom of let's say it's 4, I believe. So let me just go and see. There we go, it is 4. Okay, so basically it's going to create the border bottom of 4, okay, with this teal color. Okay, so basically you're adding a simple border bottom to it with a higher color, which is a contrasted color. Okay, now we have done that as well, and now we'll create a elevated button. Okay, elevated BTN. Okay. Alright, so when I say button, and this is like very simple classes to it. We want a background of white, and if anyone hovers over it, we need to have sort of a gray color to it. So I want to say background BG, and we want to say I want a gray color. Okay, so I want to say BG white. Oops, it's hover. Okay, so I want to say BG, it's going to be BG gray, and we need to specify a color, maybe gray let's start at 700, something like that. Okay, and we'll say the weighted, and if we check it right there, okay, it becomes, oh, it's too much, I guess. 400. Oh, all right, so should be 200, I guess. I'm not sure. All right, yeah, I guess it's 200. Oh wait, there's no hover to it, huh? Oops. Oh yeah, so then we're not gonna have the hover effects. Okay, so I think it has an hover effects, but a very little amount. Yeah, it has an hover effects, but a very little amount. Okay, so let's make sure it's 100. It's a very little amount. Okay, and then we need to set our border. Okay, so I'm gonna say border of gray, and we need gray to be 800. Okay, and if I go back, and it looks like that. So there's a problem with this button. Okay, the BG is white. Oops, I think I made some mistake, but yeah, let's just get the settings off. Let's say font is gonna be I want this to be semi-bold. Okay, and then we need to have a padding 5 of 4. Okay, the paddings were making it ugly. The padding we have 2, a padding X of 4, and a margin top of 4. Okay, so if I take a look right there, alright, looks nice. Okay, so now we need to have some simple styling. Alright guys, so that's nice. Okay, so we need to have some custom styling to it. For not customs, or basic some stylings. At the end of the video, I'll show you how to create your custom styling. So I'm just going to inspect this one, right? This one, okay? Okay, not this one. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you this. You can inspect this as well. So if I go through this one right there, I can see all of the stylings. So it has a hover BG gray of 100, text gray of 800, and then a font semi-bold, a border gray of 400, and a rounded shadow. So this class basically, if I delete this class, for example, if I just delete this, okay, and it's just gonna get rid of that shadow over there. So that's the only reason you get a sort of a plastic design to it. Okay, so we need to copy this. I'm just gonna copy this styling. Okay, I'm just gonna replace this with this one. Okay, so it's basically, oops. Okay, so basically it's gonna say BG white, a hover to it, which is gonna be 100, a text gray of 800, a font semi-bold, a margin top and a bottom, and the paddings, all of those stuff, the border, and we also have a border gray of 400, and also a grounded shadow. Okay, so now if I go back, then we have this simple elevated button. Okay, alright guys, so now we are gonna create a I just want to copy and paste because you want to go over the dev tools as well. Okay, so now I'm going to create a simple group buttons. Okay, you can have like multiple buttons in a group. Okay, for that we're not going to have a button, though we are going to have a button, but we're going to have a div first of all. Okay, and div with a class of inline flex. Okay, so this is just going to be the class. It's going to be div with a class of inline flex. Okay, and then let's enter, and also we need a margin top to it. Okay, so I want to say margin top of 4. Okay, so inside this we're gonna have the buttons. So let's have a first button. So we don't need to have a first button because anyway they're gonna be 2 buttons. So when I say button, I want to have some couple of stylings into that. Okay, so first one, the background of this button is gonna be gray, and the color is gonna be gray of a 400. Okay, not too harsh. And then we also want the text to be gray, and text gray, I believe it's gonna be, I guess it's 800. Okay, and also we are gonna have a font of bold to it, and we would have a padding up and top of 2 and a padding right on top of 4, and we don't need a margin because it's already there. And also we want to have a rounded class. Okay, so let me just get this up, and let's call this previous. Okay, I believe it was previous. Okay, if you come right there, oops, let's get rid of that. Yeah, it's previous over there. Okay, if I hover over it, you get this effect, and if I hover over it, we don't have any effects because we didn't add the hover effect still. Okay, So now let's add a hover effect. So I'm gonna come right here, which is okay, background. I'm just gonna have a simple hover effect. So I'm gonna say hover BG gray, and let's change it to a darker color, maybe probably like 700. Okay, so if I now come up, oops, that's too much right there. How much is that? I guess a very light color, maybe it should be 500. Yeah, it should be 500. Yeah, it is 500, I guess so. Yeah, it is 500. All right, so the next button is just the same, so I'm just gonna copy this like that. Okay, we're not gonna have any break text because it's a group, and then I'm gonna change this to next. If you see, oops, it's gonna be next. Okay, so I'm just gonna, what could I do? I think it's inline flex, yeah, but we have some problem inside this. It should be one button. Okay, what did I do wrong here? Okay, which is inside this inline flex, and pretty much there shouldn't be any errors. Let's see. Okay, let's inspect this element and take a look at this button. Okay, I can just go to Tailwind.css, copy that. I just don't want to do it. Okay, but let's get this one. Okay, this whole tip right there. So if you see right here, we have all the stylings, just the same stylings, but we have okay rounded large. Okay, it's L over there, it's a large one. So we'll copy that and paste it up. Okay, sometimes it's really hard to forget what you're doing. Okay, sometimes it's very hard. Okay, so yeah, that looks nice. And also we have some simple issue with that, I guess, which is for everything looks good, it's inline flex and a margin top of white, and then for the second one it's going to be R. Okay, so which is the next, we need to have it right. So now it's going to be like, one button which, two like two options, something like that. Just a one button with two working clicks, if that's right, you want to call it like that. Okay, and now at last we're done with that. We're going to basically create okay, we're going to finish this div. We're going to create a custom SVG icon. We're going to say icon button. So okay, you can basically only have add any SVG or image to this. Okay, you can add anything to this button. Okay, it's very easily done. So what we want to do, we want to basically create a button, and inside this we would have a BG, which is just, we're going to do the same story. We're going to have some basic stylings, which is going to be gray 300, and we would have a hover effect of BG gray of 400, and we have a text white to it, and we have a text oops, no, that's not going to be, we're going to have white, we want to have a gray, we want to have a text gray of 800, and we want to have font bold. Okay, and we have a obviously margin top of 4, a padding of 2, a px of 4. Okay, which is right and left, and also we want our buttons to be rounded, and we need, okay, let me just get this up, and let's have a image right there. Okay, first of all we need to have an SVG here inside this. Okay, inside this button. So I actually have an SVG copied here. Okay, I'll leave this in the description. This is a simple download SVG. So I'm just gonna paste it inside this. Okay, and if I save it, it's gonna format it very nicely. Okay, that's inside the button. Okay, and now what I want to do, I want to basically have a span, and inside this span I want to create just a download, and if I just save it and show you the, okay, so this is how it's going to be. So what I want to do, I'm just going to break this here. Okay, so it's not nice, just in the one button. Okay, it's just one button. Make sure it's going to be centered and flexed up, so we want to have a class called inline flex here. Okay, which will flex this both, and also we have a we're gonna center this. We're gonna say item center. Okay, that's what we want. And if you take a look, that's what we have. It's pretty nice. And also we need to, okay, that's the issue here, bx and /4. Okay, and that looks nice. So just as you look, we have created just the same thing, and I've explained everything what I've done. Okay, so disable the border, the outline, the simple, the pill, all of the stuff, we actually done it. Alright guys, so I wanted to actually touch one last thing. Oh wait, now if you want to have custom styling to your button, you can have a custom styling. For that, what you have to do, you need to come to your source folder, okay, simply this folder, and you can have some custom stylings here. For example, let me just display everything none. Okay, so when I say body, I'm gonna get whatever is inside the body and display everything none. Okay, this is something like custom styling. Now if I save it, and if I even go over, oops, if I get rid of this, even if I go over here, I'm in my local host, even if I refresh, it's not gonna get, my body is not getting displayed none. It's because we have to build our CSS again. Okay, so for that, what you have to do, we ran a command which is npm, and I want to say run, and I want to build your CSS again. So this is basically going to update this folder, this CSS, with this styling. It's going to basically say body is none, okay, with your custom stylings. And now if I click enter, it's already built it. Okay, so that's done. Now if we take a look at our local host, we don't have anything here. It's because our styling, our custom styling is actually updated. Our body is transparent. If I go, I'm not sure if I can see it right here. So oops, there's a lot to go. Should be in the end, I'm not pretty sure. Okay, but simply what's gonna do is gonna update your this file and simply say style.css to be, or just your HTML body to display now. And if I get rid of this again, and if you know it wouldn't, you have to update your, so let's update it up again. Let's update it, and then if you it's getting a bit of a time. Okay, now if you see it, if I refresh it properly, it's gonna be the same. Okay, all right, so basically you can have custom stylings here as well. Alright guys, that's been it for the video. Hope you guys really loved it. That's nothing much, but I just wanted to do a very simple video on Tailwind CSS, how the buttons work and how the classes work. And also one thing, I couldn't do the npx, the creating the config file because the time is too much. I've done it more than like 50 minutes I guess, but it's pretty simple. You just want to create, I don't think you really have a use case inside this video, but we'll be sure to teach you and you know, work with the config file in the future if I'm creating something like a landing page with Tailwind.css. But if you want to see those kind of videos, just drop a like and subscribe if you want to see, and comment down below whatever videos you want to see in the future. So sorry for taking so much long, but anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk in the next video. Thank you.